Good evening and welcome to Just Event Online Weekend News at 9. I am Rashidat Muraino. The news headlines. Federal government calls for broader collaboration against plastic pollution. Remi Tinubu urges action on teachers' shortage. Kano orders new political appointees to declare assets. Federal government predicts 5-day flooding in 16 states. Okpebholo inaugurates committee against drug abuse. Governor Otti vows to make tourism a major revenue source. Insecurity, Sokoto communities calls for state federal government intervention. Cross River government forms Taskforce on education reforms. Now the news in details. The federal government has called for a sustainable partnership with the private sector to tackle the rising plastic pollution across the country. The Minister of Environment, Bala Rahabi Abbas Lawal, who made the call, praised the Alternative Bank for its continued commitment to tackling plastic pollution in Nigeria following the success of the Work for Zone Plastic Initiative in Abuja. The minister, represented by his Assistant Director of the Solid Waste Management Division at the Ministry of Environment, Dangiwa Ewa, expressed the ministry's strong support for the initiative and recognized the importance of collaboration between the private sector and the government in addressing environmental challenges. The First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu, has celebrated teachers on World Teachers Day and urged renewed action to the pressing global teacher shortage, saying the challenge must be confronted with urgency. Remi, in a statement made available to newsmen on Sunday, paid tribute to educators across the country for their role in nation building and securing the future. She described teachers as true heroes, shaping minds, nurturing dreams, and guiding generations. The Kano state government has directed all newly appointed political office holders to immediately declare their assets with the Code of Conduct Bureau. The directive was issued on Friday by the Secretary to the state government, Alhaji Umar Farouk Ibrahim, during the ongoing special capital building workshop for top government functionaries in Kaduna. The measure, according to him, is intended to ensure transparency about public officials, financial status, and dealings, prevent political conflict of interest, and strengthen good governance. The Federal Ministry of Environment has warned that several locations across 16 states may experience heavy rainfall likely to result in flooding between October 4 and October 8, 2025. The flood alert was issued by the National Flood Early Warning Center on Saturday and signed by the Director of the Erosion, Flood and Coastal Zone Management Department at the Federal Ministry of Environment, Usman Bokini. The center predicted that the flooding might affect 39 locations across the 16 states. Governor of Edo State, Monday, Okpebholo, has inaugurated the State and Local Government Drug Control Committee to intensify the fight against drug abuse in the state. Monday described the initiative as a vital step in our unwavering commitment to stopping the menace of drug trafficking and substance use among youth. Represented by his deputy, Honorable Dennis, the governor, beyond the rising tide of drug dependency and its impact on society. Governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Otti, has said the state will make the tourism industry one of its major sources of revenue by maximizing its potentials. Otti stated this at the 2025 World Tourism Day theme, Tourism and Sustainable Transformation in Omaha, the state's capital. Represented by his Chief of Staff, Khalid Ajagba, he noted that Dubai, Israel, and Brazil, among others, have boosted their economies through the industry. Communities in Kibi local government area of Sokoto State has called on both the state and federal government to urgently interfere in the worrying security situation that has displaced residents in at least 12 villages. Addressing a press conference in Sokoto yesterday, community leader Adamu Okpebholo said persistent attack by armed bandits have forced hundreds of families to flee, abandon their farmland, livestock, and other means of livelihood. Aruna, who spoke on behalf of the affected communities, described the situation as tragic and unbearable, lamenting that residents now live in constant fear. Despite repeated reports to authorities, the attack have continued without respect, he said. The Cross River State Commissioner for Education, Professor Stephen Otti, has announced the constitution of Ministry and Local Government Taskforce to drive compliance with the newly approved education reforms across the states. Otti made the announcement while answering questions on Sunday, a day after, with stakeholders in the education sector in Calabar. He said that the education reforms recently approved by Governor Otti are aimed at strengthening the delivery of quality education and repositioning the education sector in Cross River State. And that is all on Just Events Online Weekend News at 9. Here is the recap of the news headlines. Federal government calls for broader collaboration against plastic pollution. Remi Tinubu urges action on teacher shortage. Kano orders no political appointees to declare assets. Federal government predicts 5 days flooding in 16 states. Okpebholo inaugurates committee against drug abuse. Governor Otti vows to make tourism a major revenue source. Insecurity, Sokoto communities calls for state federal government intervention. Cross River government forms task force on education reforms. Remember, a rock man holds no treasure, no matter how rich the soil is. For more news, visit www.justeventsonline.com. And to read more updates, follow us on our social media platform with a tap at Just Events Online. You can also send us an email on justeventsonline@gmail.com. I am Rashidat Moraino. Good night.